Welcome to this When Genitals Fail Us practice, and let's start straight away by owning ourselves and plugging in our power. So you can do it your own way, or you can let yourself be guided by my voice. So first of all, I'm calling in myself. I'm calling in all the parts that belong to me, and I'm asking them to come back to me now. And then I am sending out everything that belongs to somewhere else. And just as a little footnote and reminder here again, please make sure whenever you do that, that you use the positive sentence. So rather than saying, I'm sending out everything that does not belong to me, you say, I'm sending out everything that belongs to somewhere, someone, something else. Please verify it for yourself, the theory, and I also have, I want to say that I've felt a difference. And the theory is that the universe or ourself or God, whatever you want to call it, does not hear the no, the not. So if I say, I'm asking for everything that does not belong to me to send out, I'm basically asking for everything that belongs to me to be sent out. So it's like I'm calling in myself, and then straight away I'm sending it out again, which, is probably what happens naturally. The idea here is that we really center ourselves and be fully ourselves, okay? I think the words are probably secondary. I think the belief system behind it is what really counts. And I still want to emphasize it here. And somehow it is connected to the practice. I'm already feeling that. So one more time, I'm sending out everything that belongs to somewhere else. And I trust that those parts will find their way. I don't have to know where they're going, where they belong to, where I got them from. This is part of the divine trust inside of me. And I don't know how it feels for you today at this moment. For me, that feels like freeing, feels liberating, feels like I'm a little bit lighter. I can sort of move my bones somehow a bit easily, and that feels really good right now. And as you probably know by now, each time it feels differently, right? And it's your choice how much you want to go into that, how much you want to feel into it, or you just keep going. And we plug in our power. So I consciously plug in my power by either visualizing it or just feeling it, seeing it, and also here seems to be a practice of footnotes. I want to make that little footnote of seeing doesn't mean with my eyes. It also means seeing it with my heart. Right? So it's more a sort of feeling type of thing. Yeah, and straight away I get this picture of my cable hanging loose, and it doesn't want to be plugged in. And this is one of the things where you can tell whether you're professional by now. That is sort of like, your system is trusting you to deal with reality. It's not faking it. And you're not sort of, basically forming this picture of something being plugged in, even though it's not. This is what is real right now, and this is what counts, okay? All we do is observe, witness, be present with it. And then it automatically transforms into the most fulfilling, self-loving energy that we need at this moment of time. So see what is going on inside of yourself when you hear this, and also when you observe your state of power. And I'm going with this loose cable that is hanging there, unplugged, and it doesn't want to be plugged in. And for me, immediately, I get this as a symbol of a penis. Yes, and also, it could also be a vagina. Could also be any kind of genital. No matter what we're naming, or however I name it right now, that's not about the name. It is more about the energy inside of that genital. And what is collectively much more pregnant is the word, interestingly enough, at the moment, is the erectile dysfunctions of male genitals, right? So let's assume for a minute we all have penises. And footnote here, I actually believe, not to say I know that we all have penises. Speaking for myself here. And let's just feel into our penises, our male genitals, and let's call them, like let's really consciously put this label on top of them. I get this picture now of, like a photo album, and you have a picture of your penis in it. And you, underneath it, you very proudly put the label dysfunctional on it. And then the photo album goes on, and each year, you sort of celebrate this anniversary of dysfunction. And again, 3 years of being dysfunctional, and 20 years, 30 years, I don't know how many more years, you really celebrate that your penis is dysfunctional. And if this mind fuck is working, if you're sort of feeling with me, then you really can also feel that pride, and that being proud of your dysfunctional penis. Maybe you have other feelings coming up now. For me, there's already this sort of, cringy, sort of like fake feeling coming, like, soon it's all gonna fall apart. Because even if I celebrate this as something big and something to be proud of, society tells me I am wrong. My penis is wrong. Being dysfunctional means I have failed, and I'm constantly failing in doing my job. So again, if you can stay with me here, ask your penis, whatever, whether it's flesh, whether it's energetic. If it's not possible for you, you can also ask the collective penis, or you can ask a penis that you have met. And you can ask the penis, why are you failing me? And you might get immediately some big answers. You might get the feeling that I have right now is, that's a stupid question. What do you want from me? So it's, anger hidden in, passive aggression and sort of irritation, frustration. So what I feel here is that there's some sort of energy that is out of sync, something that has been broken, almost like a contract between us and our genitals. And that contract, you can feel into it for yourself. You can pause here, because that contract probably looks different depending on your history with your genitals. And you can look and ask to see that contract. So you probably know that theory of our soul reincarnating with some sort of soul contract, right? And for some reason I feel like making up all these assumptions and theories today, so I will just go with the flow. So let's say we all who listen to this right now have come to this incarnation with a soul contract that says, I will embody self-love. Full stop. I will embody self-love. And you sign it. And then there's your genitals. They're being given to you. And I could make this really big right now because I can really feel it. If I go into that door, it's like this huge golden room. And there is God, this entity of just eternal wisdom, right? And they basically offer us this present and this present is what we need to fulfill our soul contract in this life. And of course, guess what is the present? The present is our genitals. And again, see how much you want to follow me here right now, because I'm sort of building, two stories together. One is this collective penis that we all have, and now I'm giving you this story of your own individual genital, and maybe that is coming together as one, or maybe you have two different stories here. So for me, I'm going with this present and I'm unpacking my genitals. And I see these, vulvina-shaped genitals. With an energetic penis. And lots of other things attached to it. It's like a whole, crazy system. And I'm taking them with me, knowing that this is basically the key to unlock my self-love in this life. And I don't know how it feels for you, but I can already feel there is some sort of hook in this whole thing, right? It's a bit like somebody's tricking me. Because, of course, while going through this life, it's not like everybody teaches us how we can use our genitals to embody self-love. It's rather the opposite. Okay? How can we be self-love despite our genitals? And now, again, I'm picking up the thread that I left earlier, which is, why do our genitals fail us? And then for me, my answer is, what do you mean? They have never failed us. How could they fail us? If they are the exact thing that helps us or makes it possible to be self-love, how can they fail us? Doesn't make any sense at all. And then I get this image of like a film that is sort of, put on reward. It's like, goes backwards. So, what is the right question to ask here? Where do we even begin when we go into the whole field of dysfunction, erectile dysfunction, all these names, all these titles that, I'm not going to name right now all these diseases that apparently exist around our genitals, when the only thing that our genitals are doing is their God-given job to lead us towards self-love. I could go now into so many individual stories that I have experienced in myself and others, privately and personally and professionally, where we feel like our genitals fail us. And that's not the truth. I want to do a little footnote here on the whole topic of resurrection, which is, a tricky terrain, I feel. And still, I feel like naming it here. So whatever resurrection means to you, right? There is something about really standing up for ourselves, being the light that we were born to be, standing up for love, standing up for our values. And of course, our genitals will imitate that. Again, if you haven't done the internal genital systems practice, then you can go into that later. And you will probably find that there's a link there. So whoever is sort of sitting in our genitals that we think they dominate our genitals, right? That person is also deciding whether you feel like your genital is failing you. Whether you feel like your genital is not performing how it should perform. Like not being wet enough, or being too wet. Not being hard enough, or being too hard. And we could go into all these things right now, and you can already feel how ridiculous that is, right? And at the same time, it's very real. And it's very, very, very stressful, if not to say traumatic, for people. And I don't have a solution here, as always. That's obviously not the point. The point is, what do we do with the reality that we are facing? So, this is more of a little homework I'm giving you now, if you feel like it. So next time you're in a situation where you have this argument with your genitals that you feel like they should be wet now, or you feel like they should have an orgasm right now. Or you feel like that should be hard. Or you feel like that should not be hard. Whenever you disagree on something, take this little time out. And I know in the beginning that might not be possible. But even just, this mini time out of a few seconds of just noticing the moment that you put this label on your genital that says dysfunctional. And then whenever that is over, the situation that you're in, you can sort of work on it afterwards, and you can go and see, okay, why was my genital dysfunctional? What exactly did I expect from it? And that's where all the listening to our genital practices come in very handy. You talk to your genital, right? And you find out what's going on. And, to sort of spoil the ending here, you will probably find out that your genital was doing their job by embodying the self-love that they are, and reminding you of something not really being aligned with yourself in that moment of time. Little footnote here. I know there's lots of other, reasons why genitals do certain things or don't. And still, I believe that with everything, there is an underlying message, and you can tap into that field if you want to. If not, then you don't.